My sister is trying to seduce my boyfriend. This story came July 9th, 2015. My sister, 18 female, is trying to seduce my 24 female boyfriend, 24 male. I live with said sister. She started college this summer and my parents asked if she could live with me because 1, she was going to school in the same city that I work in, and 2, I was looking for a roommate anyways. We're not that close and I'm not a big fan of my parents, but I agreed because it seemed like a way to get us closer and she wouldn't be able to afford an apartment on her own. Every time I bring my boyfriend over to the apartment and we hang out in the common areas like cooking dinner or watching Netflix in the living room, my sister Hannah deliberately seems to hang out only in her underwear.
Oh my god, ew, David!
Sometimes she will blatantly walk into our line of sight in her thong and tank top. My boyfriend of 3 years handles it like a champ and looks elsewhere. I have explicitly told Hannah it's inappropriate to be walking around in her underwear with company over, and she never does this to anyone else but him. And to cut it out, but she says he's like family, so he shouldn't care, and she just wants to be comfortable in her own space. If you're like family, isn't that even more of a reason not to be walking around in your thong? I don't want to be in a thong around my family because they're family. Whenever we go into my bedroom, she will find excuses to knock, barge in, or otherwise interrupt sexy times or not. She'll complain that she's lonely and wants the 3 of us to hang out, but only has the desire when she sees that we have gone into my bedroom. Or she'll make an excuse as to why she needs one of us right now. One time, she asked him to go into her room to kill a spider. I have told her to leave us alone when we go into my bedroom, but she doesn't effing listen. He has told me that when I'm not around, like if I'm in the bathroom or I'm doing something else out of earshot, Hannah will come into the room and try to initiate all sorts of casual talk about sex with him. What's your favorite position? Mine is this. Or, I bet all the girls were after you before you met my sister. How many girls have you hooked up with? Boys in my school always wanted to hook up with me. Or she will try to model outfits and ask if he thinks that she looks hot. According to him, he will either flat out ignore her or says that he's not interested in talking with her about this. Finally, I went into her room the other day to retrieve my makeup and perfume that she keeps stealing, and I saw her Facebook was open on her laptop. I noticed that one of the chats had pictures of my boyfriend in it, which is why I read it. She was chatting with her best friend, and the conversation was, Hannah wrote, "Oh my god, he's coming over today, heart. Want to come with me to the mall? I want to buy something sexy, wink face." Then the friend wrote back and said, "Oh my god, you're crazy, girl. Isn't he old as F? LOL. Hannah wrote back, WTF, LOL. 24 isn't old. He's so effing sexy. Oh my god, I have to show you his pics." Oh my gosh. She then proceeded to share pictures of my boyfriend. These were not pictures from Facebook, but candid pictures of him that he clearly wasn't aware were being taken. Standing in our kitchen, napping on the couch, and even one of him on the street, like some kind of crazy stalker. I told him about all of this, and ever since then, we have been together exclusively at his apartment, and I have been staying over there. Ultimately, it's much nicer for us to have privacy, but I'm pissed that I have to leave my apartment to my teen sister because she has no respect for boundaries and apparently just wants to sleep with my boyfriend. I also feel like she is way too old for this crap. She's 18, not 15. I have no idea what to do here. I want to chew her out, but I've chewed her out over this in the past, and apparently it did nothing. I'm at the end of my rope with her. If she wasn't my sister living in a new city, I would have kicked her out by now. As it is, I don't know if I should give her a warning, talk to my parents about it, but I know that they will take her side. It's part of the reason why we aren't close. Or confront her with my boyfriend and have him tell her in no uncertain terms that it will never happen. Moving out isn't an option. I have a lease until next year and I will not lose money and move out of my apartment because my sister can't control herself. She wouldn't be able to afford the apartment on her own anyway and would have to move out in the end too. But this this is like too much. I don't know how you continue to live with someone after that. I would be so uncomfortable, and your boyfriend's got to be uncomfortable more than anybody. We're gonna see what Reddit is saying. Someone commented and said, your sister is 18 and legally an adult. If she cannot respect boundaries and isn't on your lease, give her 30 days to pack her shite and go. Who cares if she gets upset or tattles to your parents? You deserve to have privacy and respect in your own home. OP wrote back to that and said, yeah, I'm leaning towards this. I just know that doing this will completely sever any ties I have with my parents and family. So I'm wondering if there's any alternative solution before disowning them. I wouldn't mind particularly, but it would kind of suck to not have a family at the same time, even if we're not close. Thanks though. But if you're not close, like, I don't know. Do you want family just to say you a family? Like, this is your sister, family, blood.
A blood relative, blood.
Closest person to you in relation, and she's doing this to you. Like, just because you guys have the same blood doesn't mean that's family, you know? She's not even being a friend. She's doing what enemies would do to you. Next comment, if standing by very basic boundaries causes your family to cut you off, they probably aren't people you need in your life a lot. Basically what I was trying to say. OP wrote back to that and said, yeah, agreed. They are the type of family sticks together no matter what. Ohana means no one gets left behind. Blood is thicker than water kind of parents. So they will be pissed that I'm choosing my boyfriend over my blood relative. But she isn't acting much like a sister, so tough I guess. We have an update and it came 3 days later. We're now at July 12th. Out of the three main options, talk to my parents, confront my sister, or have my boyfriend shut her down, I decided to take 2. I contacted my parents first, which was very difficult for me, and I told them about what was going on and that I was going to kick my sister out. I said it in a no arguments way, just a statement of fact that her behavior was completely unacceptable and that I had given her many chances in talking to her about it. I said I was telling them first, so kicking her out wouldn't come out of the blue for them, and they could help her find somewhere else to live if they wanted to. I did not send the screenshots of her Facebook convo because number 1, I never took the screenshots, and number 2, I didn't feel any need to prove anything to them. It really felt like my decision whether they believed me or not. To my surprise, my parents actually believed my side of the story, though not for the reasons you would think. There had apparently been an incident at a recent family reunion that I didn't know about because I was unable to go. Our close cousin, Bia, who is 1 year older than me, brought her boyfriend to our annual family reunion to introduce him to everyone for the first time. Apparently, Hannah shamelessly and openly flirted with Bia's boyfriend in front of everybody, in front of Bia, in front of our parents, in front of Bia's parents, all our aunts and uncles. I don't know what exactly Hannah did, but according to Bia, who I asked about it after, she was very obvious about it, trying to touch him a lot, sitting next to him whenever Bia got up to go somewhere else, etc., etc., etc. It was just very obvious. Everyone witnessed it, and it was the gossip of the family for that entire day. My aunt and uncle, Bia's parents, were disgusted with her behavior and judged my parents for allowing Hannah to behave that way. All of a sudden, my parents cared about what she was doing because now it was affecting their reputation with the family. That is the most important thing to them. So apparently they were pissed at her for what had happened and had taken her car away for a few months prior to her coming to live here. My parents don't want anything to endanger my relationship with my boyfriend because they do consider him to be a catch and want us to get married and have smart babies. He is white, handsome, and going to law school. So they don't want Hannah to ruin that. My parents said that they would talk to Hannah and beat it into her head that she could no longer act that way and that she was close to effing up her living situation and relationship. They begged me to give her a second chance and to give her time to change once they talked to her. I told them I would think about it, but once we hung up, I decided I didn't trust them to actually talk to her. Call it 18 years of experience. Well, whether they talked to her or not, the very next day, Hannah posted something on her Facebook to the tune of, quote, "Sometimes you can't let other people get in the way of what you love, wink face." So I sat her down and decided to have the talk with her myself. I told Hannah that if she didn't cut out her behavior behavior immediately, I was going to kick her out. I told her that I knew everything and that it sickened me that she would not only disrespect me by trying to seduce my boyfriend, but that she would freely backstab her own sister just to get with a guy. I told her that it made me feel disgusted knowing that she had a childish infatuation with my boyfriend, but that even if she did have feelings she couldn't help, she needed to learn how to control them like an adult and respect me, my relationship, and my home. Hannah mouthed off and said that my boyfriend was going to leave me anyway because I didn't put enough effort into looking good for him. I don't wear makeup every day, only on special occasions or on dates when I want to look nice for him, and my clothes are pretty plain. And she said that there were dozens of women in the city that could catch his eye. She's probably one of the worst sisters of all time. Then she said that she didn't have to listen to me. She said, "F you, you're not that much older than me, and you're not my mom." She said word for word, quote, "I'm not a kid anymore. I can do whatever the F I want." Surprisingly, I kept my cool and I told her that was true. There were adult consequences to her actions. Consequences which would range from getting kicked out and having to move back home to getting her ass beat. She was in the real world and couldn't get away with her crap anymore. She said that I couldn't kick her out because it was illegal and that she could do whatever she wanted, and doing whatever she wanted meant being herself around my boyfriend. So I told her that she had 30 days to evict the apartment. She stormed off. I contacted the landlord and I made sure that everything was square. She's not on the lease, so they didn't give a crap, and told my parents that it was final. My sister had to be out of my apartment by the end of the month. They didn't say much and seemed stunned that she would suddenly act this way. They think the influence of the big city is causing her to act out. Whatever. She did this at your family gathering before she moved. What do you mean? I chose not to involve my boyfriend further because several people said that this was between us, me and Hannah, and they're right. I don't want him unnecessarily uncomfortable or forced to do something he doesn't want to do, though he has voluntarily offered to talk to Hannah and shut her down in the past. I personally don't think it would do much to stop her anyway, given her reaction to my little lecture, so I left him out of it. I am getting a small nanny cam to monitor the apartment while I'm away, however, to make sure, number one, Hannah doesn't break anything, and two, to protect myself and my boyfriend in case she decides to make any false accusations against either of us. At this point, I wouldn't put it past her. I seriously have to wonder if my sister is just a huge biatch as a result of being hopelessly spoiled, or if there's something going on with her. I really don't know, but I'm fed up with her acting this way when I did her the favor by letting her live with me. So that's it. Hopefully I don't have to update again, and she moves out peacefully. Spoiler alert, you had to update again. So sorry. She actually added an edit to this post and said, "So far I haven't heard from Hannah herself because I've been at my boyfriend's pad, but my parents tell me that she will be out of the apartment by the end of the week." Her Facebook is a whiny, crying storm of, "Life is not fair, no one understands me, you can't trust anybody, not even family." That is ironic. Oh my God. What a hilarious thing to say. "And my life is ruined. I have hidden her from my feed and I'm going to watch anime with my boyfriend. I have already served her formal eviction papers as of today. Thank you for your suggestions. Also, some people were very upset that I alluded to my parents thinking my boyfriend is a catch because he is white. To that point where I'm getting very redundant PMs about it. Let me be clear, I am not white, I'm Asian. However, I do not hold my Asian parents' viewpoint. My boyfriend's race does not matter to me. I think he's a catch, not for those reasons, and I love him for who he is." My parents are old school Asian people who objectify people, including their children, and reduce them to basic, simple attributes that are categorized into approved and disapproved. A strong, handsome white dude happens to fall into their category of yay. They also think I'll never do any better than him. So all in all, it's a pretty effed up way of thinking for both sides. You can see why I don't talk to them much. I never condoned this attitude, and I'm fully aware of how racist it is, but there's nothing I can do about how they, and a large aspect of the culture they come from, view the world. I'm quite tired of people getting worked up about that one comment and thinking that I subscribe to that line of thinking. I do not. Let's see what people are saying now. Honestly, sometimes the comments are better than the story. Someone commented and said, make sure you serve her. Okay, yeah. So someone did comment and say, make sure you serve her formal written eviction papers. Next comment. I think you're handling this very well. She might act out again towards the end of the 30 days when she realizes that you are actually kicking her out, so be careful. Next comment. I know you said you chose not to involve him at this point, but I think you need to fill your boyfriend in. If you are worried about her physical actions, he needs to know so he can protect himself as well. If I was in his place, I would like to attempt to minimize any possible damage to my place. Your sister seems like the type that could put holes in the wall or something to ruin your security deposit, for sure. OP responded and said, oh, my boyfriend knows about everything and I tell him about every development as it's actually happening. I just didn't want to involve him by making him be the one to sit her down and talk to her instead of me. Thank you for your concern though. He is fully aware of what's going on. And yup, that is what the nanny cam is for. We have the final update, but first we're gonna drink some water. Cheers. While we're hydrating, let me know how you would handle a situation like this.
I looked naked for a second in this. I'm not. I do have a top on. But anyways, I have good news, you guys. Remember how I said I auditioned for a TV show that's on a network right now? I did not get that. However, that casting director just called me in for another role in that same season for that TV show. And I'm in Arizona right now, so I'm gonna have to film a self-tape. We're gonna have to wing it and put it together because we have to make it happen. It has to be in by tomorrow. It's worth it though. So, good news, I'm being brought in for another role. So, fingers crossed for this one now.
All right, so the final update came 8 days later, July 17th, 2015. Well, Hannah is out of my apartment. Wow, within the 8 days, okay. I gave her 30 days to get out, but after I told my parents that I was avoiding my own apartment until she left because I was so pissed about her tantrum, they stepped up and told me that they were getting her things within the week. Today, they got the last of her things and forced Hannah out of my apartment and took her home. I have to say, my view of them has improved a little bit because of how quickly they acted when I told them that she needed to be out. They didn't fight me on it or really blame me at all, though they didn't say much to me during the move out process. I decided to be there to make sure Hannah didn't claim any of my stuff was hers and bring it back home. I think they're ashamed that she has done this to both my cousin and me and are realizing how crappy her behavior is overall. In a few weeks, I will visit home and talk to them about Hannah and how this really needs to be addressed before she moves out on her own for good. I've been at my boyfriend's apartment for the week since Hannah and I had our talk, so I don't know the extent of her reaction face to face. The nanny cam showed she didn't try to destroy anything, but she did have 3 basic reactions. Number 1, she posted and complained about me a lot on Facebook to the point where I just hid her from my feed. Eventually, it got to the point where she made a specific status saying, quote, my own sister is making me homeless because she's crazy and insecure. If anyone can help me, please text me, sad face. There were a lot of responses from her little teenage friends calling me a B word, etc. But then Bia, my cousin, responded to that and said, don't try to make yourself the victim here. If you had self-control and the decency not to flirt with other people's boyfriends, this wouldn't happen. Grow up and have some respect. Hannah's friends all liked that comment, and Hannah ended up not posting anymore. This seems like way too childish from an 18-year-old. 18 to be doing all this? Number 2, Hannah tried to reach out to my boyfriend by messaging him on Facebook. They're not Facebook friends. We have a policy of not friending each other's family members so they can't snoop. I told him that it was probably going to happen, so be aware, and he told me about it right away. She wrote something like, boyfriend's name, can you please talk to my sister? I feel so hurt by what she's doing. I know you can convince her to let me stay. Please talk to her for me. You're more reasonable than she is. There will be something nice in it for you if you do, wink face. Gross. Ugh, so she hasn't learned anything. My boyfriend only initially told me about it first, but it bugged me after a few hours and I asked him if I could read it myself just to burn her sheer gall into my eyeballs. My boyfriend was kind of hesitant and clearly didn't expect me to ask to read it. He dithered for a while and then reluctantly let me see. It turned out that he answered her, but didn't tell me that he responded. He said, Hannah, OP is my girlfriend and it's her choice about living with you. You can't ask me to change her mind because I fully support the decision she makes. We're a team, so please don't ever ask me to take your side against hers again. I think it's the right call for you to go home. Also, I hope to be your brother-in-law someday, so I want to be kind. But honestly, your behavior is really unflattering. It's not attractive. I just want you to know that in the future, if you act the same way, the only guys who will find it appealing are not the guys who will ultimately make you happy or give you fulfilling relationships. That stuff that flies in high school doesn't hold the same weight when you're older. I know you want to find a good guy, but the way you act isn't going to attract anybody but the wrong people. Sorry for lecturing you, but ultimately, I want it to help you. Oh my God, that probably killed that little girl's dream. She was probably like, oh, he said I'm not attractive. God, I love that man. He didn't want me to read his response because he felt embarrassed that he lectured Hannah like that, but I was over the moon, especially over that brother-in-law comment. It made a crappy week so much better for me. We are currently in the talks for him to potentially move into my apartment, replacing Hannah's share of the rent and using her room as a guest bed, or getting a new place altogether when my lease is up. Before my boyfriend's Facebook message, Hannah was also texting me. At first, it was the usual stuff. How does it feel to kick your only sister out on the streets? F you. I can't believe you're doing this. I'll never forgive you. After his message, the tune of her texts changed and got more desperate as the days went by. She began begging and pleading, saying she really needed to live in the city because it was closer to school, saying that she would do anything to stay with me. I promise I'll never even talk to him or look at him ever again. I swear I'll change. I'll be out of the apartment all the time, so you won't even know I'm there. I don't even like your boyfriend, so let's just go back to normal. No. I told her I had given her a chance already and she flung it in my face with a big F you. So no, if she was going to live in the city, it wasn't going to be with me. Of course, she waited in the car throwing a fit while my parents hauled down all of her stuff. So I'm not convinced this incident has really changed her in any way. There was not very much drama in the week leading up to her moving out. I'm going to steer clear of her for a while and keep in better touch with my parents and see how that goes. Though I'm prepared to back off as soon as they do something like regress to their old ways. Boyfriend and I are as solid as ever, and I'm glad that we weathered this with no drama between ourselves. Wild. Let me know how you guys would have handled that entire thing. I think her moving out was the only way for everyone to move on and feel comfortable, to be honest. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.